Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today, man, we're going to be taking a look at another police, body cam video. I actually did a somewhat similar video, not really similar, but, kind of same similar tune video a few weeks ago, covering, I think it was in Houston, Texas, a police officer, or a set of police officers who I thought did a pretty good job in taking down a criminal. But in today's video, I think I can really only describe what we're about to see as one of the most irresponsible, egregious displays of police ever. I mean, this is just insane. This is almost like something you'd expect to see in a fucking Adam Sandler movie or something, man. I feel like if I describe to you what happens, you genuinely will not believe me. But I mean, to give you the most basic, I guess, breakdown possible, right? Police officers arrested this guy, and I guess one of the cops was walking back to his car, and an acorn fell off of a nearby tree, right? And it lands on his police cruiser. It makes like a little, pink sound or whatever, right? Hits the car. This cop trips over his own feet, falls to the ground, starts screaming that shots have been fired and that he's been hit, as he and his partner mag dump their service pistols into the police car where they already have apprehended the suspect and handcuffed him in the back, right? So, yeah, this is not fake, by the way. This is not fake news here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the whole situation to give you backstory on why this guy was arrested in the first place, because I don't want to make it out like this guy was some sort of fucking martyr or he was some sort of hero or something, because he's not. He's a violent felon who was accused of some pretty insane shit. So, the guy who they responded to this call with, who is apprehended and is handcuffed in the back of the car, arrested, who they both began, once again, mag dumping their pistols at. The police had arrested him on an accusation of grand theft auto, stealing a car. He was accused of also making threats towards a woman who I guess was his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend or something. Apparently he had aimed a suppressed firearm at her car, was making all kinds of threats. He had been arrested for grand theft auto. So this guy, he was a violent felon. He was potentially armed when they interacted with him. And, it's a pretty serious crime. This wasn't a guy fucking stealing a pack of bubble gum at the corner store or walking down the sidewalk with his hands in his pockets, right? It wasn't anything like that. The police had a good reason to be there. But for whatever reason, in the midst of all of this, in what is obviously a relatively calm and safe police scene, this cop just has some sort of fucking mental break and almost kills his person that he is apprehended. He almost kills his suspect. His fellow officer on scene also fired shots, which is insane, but let's go ahead and just roll the footage and talk about this whole thing here, man.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! I'm hit! What? I'm in the car! I shot through the car! Oh!
Alright, so, I mean, where the fuck do I even start? Okay, so first and foremost, once again, an acorn hit his car. It made a small tap sound, and this guy thought that he was under fire from a fucking firearm. So I don't know why this would have even been a thought. So keep in mind, the suspect who they were there to arrest was already arrested. He was handcuffed. He was back in the police cruiser that they start shooting in. They've already made sure he's unarmed. There's no way he can move his hands. He is already under arrest, okay? It is one sound, by the way. It's not fucking 80 acorns fell and it sounded like an AR went off. There was one tap to the car and this guy screams, shots fired, multiple times, claims that he's hit, and then, yeah, they discharge their gun and mag dump the fucking car. Miraculously, none of their bullets hit the suspect in the car. So not only did they shoot dozens of rounds into this car with no real, reason or suspicion to believe that this guy was shooting at them, but they didn't even fucking hit the guy. And keep in mind, all around them is nothing but, townhomes, apartments, whatever, right? So any stray shot that goes wrong goes through a fucking bedroom window, goes through a living room wall, goes through a car door, right? The police officers, when you look at the body cam, their crossfire is pretty goddamn close. I mean, the cop is barely tucked off to the left of the car when this officer starts shooting. Also, the other police officer fired their gun too. So 2 cops shot, even though only one of them actually personally, supposedly saw the deadly threat or whatever. The other cop just started shooting just because the one cop said shots fired. That is not how police are supposed to operate whatsoever, right? As a cop, you're only supposed to fire your weapon if you personally see and observe that threat or that reason to use lethal force. Another officer just yelling, "Oh, shots fired," that is not reason for you to start fucking unloading your pistol into a car. Keep in mind, there's no reason to believe that the suspect was even the one who shot a gun, because even if he did have somehow grabbed his fucking suppressed gun he supposedly had, number one, suppressed guns aren't like fucking video games, right? So when you shoot a suppressed gun, especially from a car, which is like a very tightly enclosed space, it is going to still make noise. It doesn't go pew or anything like that. This is not fucking 007, you know? So it would have sounded way different than just a tap. And on top of that, there was one tap. There was not multiple fucking shots fired or anything, right? This is just an egregious situation where it is a genuine miracle that this cop did not have somebody killed by his actions.
I'm good. I feel weird, but I'm good.
All right, keep in mind, thankfully, the cop is good. You know, he wasn't shot. He was completely wrong in this whole thing. Nobody was hit. That's a good sign, right? That's a good thing, a good outcome here. But his justification for all of this is, oh, I'm feeling a little weird, you know? This is the problem with policing in America, right? You know, I know a lot of people, oh, back the blue, brother, you know, you got to stand up for your law enforcement. Yeah, you stand up for the ones who do their jobs properly. You stand up for the ones who actually know what the fuck they're doing. When you have cops like this walking around society, it does numerous different things. Number one, it exponentially increases the risk that someone will die at the hands of the police in your community. It exponentially increases the likelihood that this cop or other cops will be killed or hurt in the line of duty. It erodes public trust in their local police enforcement, and it, in this case, opens them up to legal action because, I mean, this guy is probably, I would think, going to sue the police department for 2 different cops unloading their fucking pistols at him in a locked car when he has his hands behind his back. No matter how you slice it, there is absolutely zero justification for either of these cops to have fired their pistols even once. You don't unload your firearm in this case until you guarantee that there is a threat, right? Like the moment you see that there's a legit threat, that's when you start shooting. You don't start shooting because you think that the guy who is arrested and handcuffed might have shot at you, right? And that's the problem with policing, is like a lot of people will unfortunately defend shit like this. Oh, well, maybe he was just having a bad day on the field and whatnot. No, man, that's not how this works. This is, I get it, a high stress, high risk, you know, opportunity as a law enforcement job, right? But that's the reason why that job is supposed to be hard to get. And the problem is, it's really not that hard to become a police officer. You see videos all the time of cops who are completely unqualified to be doing their jobs, not doing their jobs properly. And you constantly see that people's trust in police will continue to be eroded when shit like this is going viral all the time. And you're seeing situations with police going bad with citizens all the time. Now, it turns out that this cop had actually been on the police force since 2008. Like, this wasn't some rookie, you know, wasn't his first call or anything. This guy had likely done thousands of different traffic stops and responses. He is just simply someone who should not be a cop for any reason whatsoever. This guy has no purpose being a police officer. And you know, people, we got to do more to make sure that police officers in the U.S. are higher trained. They're actually demanded to protect and serve their communities. And we're actually getting people into law enforcement who should be into law enforcement. We don't need people who are going to crack under the pressure, who are going to make the wrong decisions, who are going to be too aggressive, not aggressive enough, things like that, right? I get it. It's a hard job and not everybody can do it. And that's exactly my point. Not everybody is cut out to be a police officer. And this guy and his partner are clearly not cut out to be police officers.
I don't know. It felt like it.
Jesse, move over to me. I got you. Move over to me. Jesse, come back. Marked vehicle right there.
Dude, am I hit?
Come on. This way.
Now, this is the end of the video. You'll notice more police officers are now on scene now. Some of them have their fucking rifles, their patrol rifles from their cars drawn. The car is now surrounded that has this guy who didn't shoot, didn't have a gun, anything on his person. And it is now a much more escalated and dangerous situation than it ever needed to be. And it's all because this cop, made a horrible decision in the line of duty. And even at the end of this video, you can constantly hear him, even at this point, which is several minutes after he initially started all this, still asking if he'd even been hit. So this is an officer who still doesn't even know if he's been shot and hit. Multiple minutes after he already screamed out that he had been hit by gunfire. He's escalated the situation. He and his partner have almost killed somebody. Now, in all of this, right? Because I've been seeing articles, they've been interviewing the guy who got shot at, who was, arrested in this whole incident, right? He claims he's been traumatized for life because of this, which I can understand. I mean, they fucking shot literally dozens of bullets at him. In the back of a police car. But this officer obviously resigned from his position because, this is just a fucking disturbing display of police right here. Once again, people wonder why people don't like police in America. And you see videos like this, and it's sad because there are obviously good cops out there who really do a good job and actually do try to protect people. And then you have cops like this that actually just fucking ruin the image of the entire thing for everyone else. If you ask me, I think this guy should be in jail. Now, I get he was a cop and he was supposedly reacting in the moment, but this was so irresponsible and dangerous and such a failure of all training and even common sense in this incident that this guy deserves jail time. For instance, like if I was walking down the street as a civilian, and Ohio is an open carry, self-defense friendly state, if I were carrying a firearm down the street and then an acorn hit a car nearby, right, where there was a woman sitting there waiting for her kid or whatever, and I was like, oh shit, shots fired, and I jumped into a fucking bush and I mag dumped my fucking gray common pistol that I got from the chest in Fortnite right into this fucking car, I would be going to jail for attempted murder, dude. Like, I would be going to jail. I would be serving prison time. But because this guy had a badge and, a fucking name officer before his last name, he is suddenly okay to just act however the fuck that he desires while on the job. That's part of the problem. There's really no accountability for cops in a lot of these instances. Now, yeah, this guy resigned, but that's so he couldn't be fired or so he didn't have to answer to anybody if there was any sort of investigation. It's just fucking pathetic. So this is one of the worst videos I've ever seen of a cop, man. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus. Well, just embarrassed for this cop, honestly. And signing out. And that's a wrap on this video, but a big shout out to my Optimus Nation supporters. You guys are the real MVPs here. Your support with just $10 a month unlocks a treasure trove of exclusive videos, constantly updated, archived live stream VODs, and early access to all new uploads. Thanks for watching and see you soon.